Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Nah, just playing. What's going on, everybody? Mark Fleetwood here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind Trader. As the title for this stream suggests, today's video, I think that we are currently in the start of a Wyckoff accumulation phase for Bitcoin. And with that being said, this accumulation phase will likely be um, uniform across multiple different altcoins. So I think that there's a good opportunity for a pattern that we can see, that we can start to track and start to play out. So please, guys, if you have the opportunity, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and let me know in the comments if you like this live version of this video. It's a lot easier for me to do live versions more often because it doesn't take me as much time in the editing and the post, the kind of behind the scenes stuff. I just kind of go off the, you know, off the fly here. So we're gonna hop right in. We're gonna hop into the Bitcoin chart, and I've already kind of started drawing this up a little bit. One thing I want to show you guys, I want to show you the actual like Wyckoff schematic here, and I'm gonna go full screen on this. Oh wow, that's bright. This is an accumulation schematic, and in this accumulation phase, you have multiple different areas, and they're not going to be exact. They're not always going to go the same way. Hey, what's going on, Beats? But you have the PS is the preliminary support on the way down. You get a little support bump, and then you come down and have your selling climax. And you can see this on Bitcoin here, little support, little bump, and then a selling climax. That's oh yeah, absolutely. I will continue to go live. Yeah, so we have this preliminary support, then a selling climax, and you have your automatic retest. And let me put this back down to the smaller size. Hope that's easily visible on video here. But the automatic retest comes almost right back to the preliminary support. And you have your support touch in phase B, which is typically a little bit lower than your initial climax. So here, this was the last bottom. This was the bottom right around 20K. Now you come back up and you retest the top, and I think this is where we're at right now, retesting this top. And honestly, in my opinion, what I'm looking for trading this is going to be it's going to be waiting to see if this price breaks under my 21 period moving average, and this is on the hourly chart, so about 22K, about 22, 2250, 2248 right now. That's what it's reading for my 21 period. If it breaks below that and holds below that, I'm going to short and try to short right back down to this period, because that should be the spring area here. Like it should come down, wiggle around a little bit through here, and then come back down and test this low. Now, with this being said, the Wyckoff accumulation phase, the distribution phase, all these different phases are fractal in nature, which means that this is on the hourly time frame. This big run up here, this big arrow up, is not going to be like breaking out of the bear market or anything like that. And what that's going to be, if you go to the daily chart, is literally going to be just the automatic retest of the initial preliminary support. So the macro move, the large move, the bigger dump on a daily time frame had a preliminary support here. This is 28K. This is where we wouldn't break below 28 when we were kind of sitting on the old summer low. So that summer low here was a preliminary support. Then if I bring this back up, we just now hit the selling climax, and we'll be coming back up on the big move up to get back to around 28K. So that's what the look is going to be when you fractalize a schematic, a pattern like this. You can do this from the 5-minute time frame, half an hour, hour, out to daily, out to weekly. And on a just kind of give you guys a heads up, I was under the impression that on a large time frame, at least like on a daily time frame, that this whole like 2-year period was just a big distribution phase. This was just people just kind of systematically and strategically selling off their positions between 60 and 30 and 60K. This was a big distribution phase here, and we've broken out of that. Now I think we'll re-enter an accumulation phase, hopefully between 18K. I think 18K will be the absolute bottom to like 18 to 30. Maybe we'll have an accumulation phase through this area for a while before getting out and then creating the potential for brand new all-time highs. You know, that's that 150K bull run potential, you know, a year from now maybe. But I'm going to bring this back in a little bit. Bringing this back in on the hourly chart, and it looks like, you know, we're starting to get some more red candles down at 22,187. So 22K even is going to be my target here to see if it breaks below this level, short it down to 20K. So I give myself a little bit of wiggle room, maybe like 20,500 from 22 down to 20,500 on a short-term move. I think would be a good move to go there. This pattern is playing out. Like, I'm going to go and just take a look at FTM real quick. And Phantom is looking pretty similar. We've got, you know, preliminary support on the way down, retested it, have retested it again for the second time. We should hit a probably a lower low here coming in. We should get some downward pressure and probably get a lower test here. Now, again, these schematics are up for interpretation, so to speak, and they're not always going to go exactly as they look, and sometimes they just don't work out at all. Sometimes you can have an accumulation phase that just dumps out the bottom and you'll reaccumulate again at a lower price, but I don't know how many more times we can do that in this market. So I think we may have hit a local bottom, and potentially we'll be sitting in the accumulation area for quite a while now. I was surprised, and one of the big things today with the 75 basis point increase not really affecting the markets. The markets still had their bounce, you know, an oversold bounce in the NASDAQ, S&P 500, and even, you know, Bitcoin and most altcoins had an oversold bounce. So the markets weren't really stunned by 75 points the way I thought they would be. I'm glad I didn't go too heavy on shorts, because I probably would have gotten stopped out on certain things. So Beats, anything you like to see specifically, any altcoin, any chart analysis for anything, since you're still in the chat with me? So as the new people are coming in, I'll go over the Wyckoff phases again, and I'll put this back up. So the Wyckoff accumulation phase typically will identify a potential bottom, and I think that we've started a small time frame accumulation phase. So on the hourly chart, you know, we've got our preliminary support, and we've hit that support here down to the selling climax, and we've got that here. Automatic retest of the preliminary support, that's done, and then we've had our support touch in phase B, which is below the initial. Oh yeah, Raven is going nuts today. Give me 1 second on that. But yeah, we've already got the phase B touch, and then you know, we already have retouched the automatic rebuy area. So I think we're coming back down, and we'll get down into the spring on the small time frame, which will eventually bring it up to a larger time frame automatic rebuy. Is Ravencoin still going nutty? Okay, it's fallen off a little bit, but yeah, See, I think for the short term, that that rejection off the 200 period moving average on the hourly is rough. It's a hard rejection. So the 200 period moving average on Ravencoin stopped it in its tracks. But it was a nice pickup though. I mean, from the bottom earlier, just wow, 17 hours for 36% gain. That's a massive gain over the course of a single day. But yeah, I think I love Ravencoin. Ravencoin is one of the only coins that I hold long term, just because I've been mining it for so long, and it wasn't something I ever really intended to trade. It was just mine it and keep adding to my positions, just keep mining and keep getting more and more, as much as I could. Um, yeah, I think so. This price here at about 2.475 cents right now is the hourly 200 period moving average. I think that's going to be a heavy resistance. It could come back down and retest the 50 period, but what you in a situation like this, especially on the smaller time frames, what I'm looking for is to see the 21 cross over the 50, and then both the cross over the 200, and that will start to give you your your confirmations that the trend is going up and it's going to be in an uptrend. However small that may be on an hourly uptrend, once these cross, it might only last a couple of days, but for a coin that's down as much as the Ravencoin is, that could easily be that could easily be 60-70% gains over the course of 3 or 4 days if you can get this to make an uptrend. But it's got to break the 200 hourly moving average first. That's the first thing it's got to do. YFI, that one I had to come back to you on. I don't know really anything about it. I will do some research and look into it. Let me see if I can just throw it up on a chart real quick. YFI USDT. So yeah, YFI, I think right now, trading wise, is looking very similar to a handful of other coins I've been seeing. It's still making a bearish divergence, or a hidden bearish divergence. Oh, Ravencoin, definitely, I would definitely hold Ravencoin long term. It's in my opinion, it's the second coming of Bitcoin, with all the actual capabilities of, or not all of, but most of the capabilities of Ethereum built into it. So yeah, for YFI, I'm looking from this peak down to the current high that peaked recently. So within the past couple hours, we had a peak here and a rejection off the 50 period. So that kind of trend line there for that price range also gives us a relative strength. So the RSI has been going the opposite direction. So the strength has been coming up, but the price has been going down. There will be what's called a hidden bearish divergence, and typically means that more downward pressure is on the way. This will likely retest the low price somewhere in this area. And again, this is very similar to not quite the full Wyckoff accumulation type phase, but it definitely looks like we had a preliminary support area, selling climax, came back to it, had a lower low touch, and then here this one actually shows like the higher high touch, so came up through here. So I think YFI will come back down, likely to about 4350-ish, 4300 in that range. I think it'll come back down into that range, but I'm looking for moving averages to see if they hold it as support or resistance. If it comes down to 49.9 or 5,000 even and hold support here on the 21 period moving average, then it could bounce again. So 3 days ago was your first Raven coin purchase. I mean, that might have been the absolute best time to get in. What was it, about like 1.8 cents or so, like 1.8, 1.9 cents? Even at 2 cents, if it doesn't go any higher than its previous all-time high, then it's a 14x gain at getting back up to 28 cents. So there's supreme potential there. Now that it's also had the first halving, the block reward and the amount being minted has slowed down. I mean, it's been cut in half. So I think once crypto starts to pick back up in general and Ravencoin burns a ton for every asset being made, every NFT being made, every different coin that you would create off of the Ravencoin network burns Ravencoin out of the circulation. So there could be a good case for just the supply and demand of the tokenomics to pump the price up a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to look into YFI. I'm really not familiar with it at all, but I'm always interested to learn about new coins, new tokens, and things of the like. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably go ahead and call it here. But yeah, I just want to like point out that this is looking like the first two phases are complete of an accumulation pattern. And there's a good chance that we come back down and retest that bottom before kind of shooting up and potentially hitting around 28K before then going through the whole phase. And the larger macro pattern could last for months, going up and down between 28 and 20. So, man, I definitely appreciate you as well. So, guys, once this goes from being a live to a video, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get something from this. Check it out yourself. The Wyckoff accumulation phase and the distribution phase, both are alive and well in crypto. Once you can find them and spot them, you can definitely take advantage of the patterns themselves. So as always, guys, until next time, peace.